Hey, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of the Ball Boys. We are the tennis podcast that puts the sets in upsets. I'm your host, Paul Munkholm, bringing you the insights, outbursts, giggles, and wiggles of the ATP and WTA tours. And we are back during that long stretch between the Canadian Open and Cincinnati, because Canada finished just last night for both the men and the women. And now we are off to Ohio for the tennis, which will start. Oh, wait, it already started? Oh, like today. No? Oh, the first full day of the first round was yesterday, before the final of Canada. Oh boy. My God, who schedules these things? You know what they say, it's not the heat, it's the stupidity. But anyway, speaking of humidity, I have landed myself over here in the East Coast for a few weeks, where it is so muggy, I think the weather just stole my wallet. On today's show, we're going to be talking Canada, where we had a tale of two cities. No, literally. It's in Montreal and Toronto, but also figuratively, as the WTA showed up like 2 tons of power, and the men crumbled like a Saskatoon berry pie. And the theme of today's show is upsets, because we had enough to shake a moose at up there in Canada. But, as you'll see later in the show, maybe an upset is not always a bad thing. And we, of course, have a brand spanking new ATP. For this show, we're calling it Canadian Bacon. And we have a case of cross court. The court is back in session because we are going to be trying the future of the National Bank Open in the case of Canada versus Canada. Yes, my elocution classes are paying off for this show, folks. To do all of this, I am so excited for today's brand spanking new ball boy. He is one of my favorite voices in tennis. His takes are hot. His mouth is lippy. He is the creator of Tuned Into Tennis. It is Myles David. Hi, Myles. Welcome to the Ball Boys.
Hi, Paul. I'm happy to be in the court and being a ball boy along with you. I'm excited.
Me too. Me too. I've been wanting to do this with you for a while. Not only am I a big fan of your social media presence, your takes, but also Tuned Into Tennis, spells TIT, and I'm the Ball Boys. So together we're tits and balls. It had to happen. We had to come together. So
It just goes together.
How's your summer swing going?
It's swinging. It is hot as hell here in the deep south of Louisiana, and we're keeping it pushing. I'm putting on my sunscreen or as best I can and keeping cool and hydrated. And minding my business, kind of, sort of, but not really.
Well, you're not minding your business on Threads, because I think you're the most active Threads user I know. You pop off on there. What is your overall take on the summer swing of tennis so far? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling all over the place, discombobulated, but excited because I'm happy to see hardcore tennis competition. It's literally my favorite. Nothing necessarily against the clay and the grass, but once I'm over it, I'm excited to see the hard court again, you know?
Oh, I completely agree. On the last show, we were talking about how after Wimbledon, there were like a handful of clay tournaments, which just felt unsettling. Like it was really
always.
It was like, why would you do that? And I was like, just enough of these other surfaces. Let's just get back to the hard.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Get back to the happy medium of it all, you know? Like just let's get to the blue courts of it all.
Exactly. I gotta say though, for me, the summer swing, the US Open Series, all of that, like, you know, circa 2004 to 2015 was just my favorite time of year. But with the scheduling and the corporate greed and the enshittification of things, just like every other category, it's like the fact that Canada ended last night after Cincinnati started, I'm just like, I feel like the vibes are off. I feel like they're ruining my favorite time.
They are taking bits and pieces of like the things we've already established or tennis fans have already established that they loved about this lead up to the US Open and just completely mangled it. Like the best part of the US Open growing up for me was the fact that like every maybe Thursday through Sunday, there was really high energy and competitive tennis weeks before the US Open in a different city every weekend. And it was kind of like who was going to rack up the most amount of points, keep their tennis together before the grand shebang of them all. And now it just feels so unclustered, not marketed well, disjointed, and too much on the bodies of some of these players having to play basically 4 weeks of tennis right before a tournament, you know, inside the span of 2 tournaments. It's just weird and clunky.
I totally agree. I mean, it used to be if you had an amazing summer swing leading up to the Open, you're a contender. But now it's like, well, if you play DC and Canada and Cincinnati, you're exhausted, you're injured. It's no longer, that build up. So yeah, welcome to tennis in 2026, people. This is what
We're
we get.
trying. It's still like wonderful spurts of matches and stuff to watch, but it just is packaged in such a either we're older now and we're more aware, or
Excuse
it really
you.
is just packaged differently.
Aging? I
I'm
don't
not
know her.
older.
No, no, ma'am.
Too much
Um,
retinol over here for that.
yeah, exactly. There's a pill for that. Are you a big U.S. Open fan?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been twice as a fan. Watched ever since it was back on the day in USA Network. Remember when it was Ted Robinson and Jim Courier and Tracy Austin kind of leading the USA Network? Law and Order SVU is like still one of my favorite comfort shows.
Yeah.
And I love how it would just go from basically Law and Order SVU to like US Open tennis, all on the same network.
Honestly, like the only thing predating Serena's first U.S. Open victory is SVU. 100%. Yeah.
No, literally.
Yeah, no, I'm a U.S. Open fan, but I'm over here in New York, and people are like, oh, you're there for the Open. Absolutely not. I am boycotting. I am girl cotting. I'm cotting that tournament because the tickets are ridiculous. It's an insult. And I know it's the reseller market and yada, 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 but it used to be the best day trip. $40 ground pass, have a honeydews, chill out. Now, the cheapest grounds pass I could find was $350. I'm okay.
And are the tennis players worth your $350 right now? Like, is the tennis entertainment worth $350 US dollars for a day?
Mm-mm. I mean, I know it's inflation, but I'm because then it's all the concessions and and also the vibes. The vibes at the big tournaments, like I say this every show at this point, but I'm a 500 boy. Give me a 500 level tournament, more intimate, not so sceney, but these big stadiums and the prices and the influencers, I mean, not to offend you because you're an influencer, ma'am.
I don't feel offended at all, and nor do I really claim being an influencer. I just
Well, you have an influence. You have a voice. You have a voice.
I'll take it.
But yeah, no. So instead of going to the U.S. Open, I'll be going to Fire Island, where I'll be having a different kind of hard court action. Have you ever been to Fire Island?
I haven't, but it's on the bucket list.
It's okay. So if the U.S. Open gets its shit together, stops all this crazy price gouging, you and I are going to go and we're going to do a double. We're going to play doubles. We're going to do Fire Island and U.S. Open. That's our sunshine double.
Done. I want ad side.
Okay. On Fire Island, that could mean a number of things. So
you got it.
But while I'm in New York, I just want to do a quick shout out because I am still holding it down for the ball boys. So last night, I just want to say hello to two people who were on the show this year because they both wrote queer tennis romance novels. We had Tom Vellner, the author of 30 Love, and Eddie Schmidt, the author of The Open Era. We're on a panel last night at Greenlight Books in Brooklyn. It was so fun. Guys, I loved it. Congratulations again. The books are great. Everyone out there, they did not kiss at the end. I think that's only because they did not call on me when I raised my hand during the Q&A. But anyway, if you've missed the episodes of either of them, they were really fun, really great, and both the books are great. You can check out the episodes at my link in bio on Instagram, and that is at TBB Tennis, at TBB Tennis. Myles, you got to read these. I mean, romance, I didn't realize until Heated Rivalry why people liked romance, not just because it's like hot and horny, but it always, always works out in the end. Like, there's no sad ending to a romance novel. And I think in 2026, I needed that. I don't know. Do you read any romance novels, or is that on your...
I haven't in a while. Like my best reading has come from listening to podcasts. I need to incorporate some actual audiobooks, some formatted language. But those concepts of those books, like adult romance and tennis, is something I need to explore more because I am still on the ship of people that hasn't watched Challengers yet. And that's available on Peacock. I should really get into it. I'm behind.
Are you plugging Peacock on my show? Wow.
No, I have no affiliation with Peacock. I wish.
Seriously. Peacock, if you're listening, and I know you are.
Eyes open.
No, yeah, you've got to check out Challengers. And also, I got to say, the Challenger level tour this year, insane. Not only are there so many tournaments, everyone's playing back to back to back. We've got people who are in the top 40 playing challengers. Like it used to be you go to a challenger and it's like maybe 250 versus 300. It is like quality, you know? Maybe I'll go to the challenger.
Alex Nicholson is playing the challengers. Yes, he is.
Yes. After Wimbledon, he played it. I was like, what is he? He doesn't even go here. So, Myles, I'm so happy to have you here. And we're going to get into the tennis in just a bit. But first, we are going to play New Balls Please, which I do with every new ball boy. And that is where we go deep and we probe you on just how gay you are for tennis. So, first, I mean, we've already had a little introduction, but just introduce yourself a little bit more about like where you live, what you do, what's your star sign, and what is your favorite stroke?
Ooh, this could go a myriad of ways. But if you've never seen my face before or heard my voice, my name is Myles David. I am born and raised in southern Louisiana, where the Mississippi River reigns, and we plow sugarcane, literally.
Wow.
And I just so happen to be a aficionado of tennis. I stumbled across the sport by happenstance through one like sports injury going into like late middle school. And I just happened to get fixated on a Serena Williams match. And from there started like tennis video games. From there started realizing I had a tennis court near my high school, playing on the high school team, and just kind of keeping up with tennis, literally recording matches on VHS and DVD. Fast forward to here we are now. Like I am opening Discord rooms, having free-flowing discussion on threads, sometimes too much, about tennis and the professional workings of it and what I see from my point of view. And that's me. That's tuned into tennis. It's gotten us here. And my star sign is a Cancer. So in the midst of all of that commentary, you may get a little bit of sensitivity, a little bit of saying it how I mean it, and a lot of what things mean to me because I feel things.
I love that. Now, you mentioned a VHS. Can you explain to our listeners what a VHS tape is?
A VHS tape is the mode that we consumed media before there was a DVD. And when you could just pop things into a little hole in your television and magically see Little Mermaid.
Oh, I definitely had the Little Mermaid on VHS growing up. I loved it.
I was more of a Pocahontas kind of guy.
Oh, yeah.
Just around River Bend.
That meme. Yeah. And did you say what your favorite stroke is?
On the tennis court or otherwise?
The floor is yours, sir.
I am really impressed by a really good double-handed backhand down the line. I like it long and strong down the line.
I thought you were talking about tennis. Okay. Yeah.
Long and strong.
Long and strong. Is that the name? Is that the title of the show? Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
Maybe, baby. So you mentioned Serena Williams, which I think is a gateway drug for a lot of us, where it's like, oh, like what is this? Tell me more. Like what happened? What were you thinking? Like what makes you gay for tennis? Like why were you like, oh, I need that?
There are so many combining things that I find interesting all happening on a tennis court, because I am interested by people who move their bodies well. And tennis is a sport where you are freely able to see that, and it is a basic requirement. Like I love gymnastics too. I love any kind of sport where it feels like your body is the main instrument. All sports are, but certain sports are just kind of more different for that, you know? And on top of that body, you're wearing something probably interesting and colorful that you like or that your sponsor thought would look good on you. So there's a fashion and style element to it too, which I find interesting and can kind of fall down rabbit holes on sometimes. And then it is a sport where, to me, from my purview and my lens, some people might argue that women aren't on the same peg as men in terms of tennis, but they go hand in hand. In the biggest tennis tournaments, if you look at the schedule, it's a women's match, men's match, women's match, men's match. I love that dynamic. I get to kind of see all of the things I like from athletes on both sides of the spectrum in one tournament. And it's just fun. It feels like a boxing match, but like a stylish and more artistic version of that. But also just as gritty and competitive. And all of that combined kind of just like heightens all of my senses. And before you know it, I'm a tennis nerd all over again.
I love that. And, yeah, it's a great point about the men and the women. I feel like it's a bit of a pendulum, which is good in some ways, but like it generally in the last 10 years, I feel like it's either the ATP or the WTA is kind of
Hmm.
more entertaining than the other one. Like right now, I'm gonna say I used to be fully about the ATP, but this year it's like the WTA is much more compelling. Like because the top guys are all missing, and like the top 10 for me on the men's side is
So
real
you
weak.
grew up more gay TP instead of WT gay.
Well, I go back and forth. I go back and forth. I mean, it's almost not fair when it comes to me and tennis because it's like then the guys are all really freaking hot. So it's just like,
Are
well,
they? Not all the time.
not
Sometimes.
all the time, but just being a tennis player kind of adds a lot of hotness. Like, there's not a lot
Fair.
of
Yeah.
guys. There's not a lot of guys in the top 100 that I'd be like, no. I mean, there's some like the villains and maybe the very young, but like,
I was trying to really push who I could pull out of the bag and test you with, who you could
like
say no
fugly?
to
Who's
on
the
top
ugliest man
100.
in tennis? Wow. Like
Mm.
Manarino. No.
I mean, honestly, I could totally see Mandarino go into a gay bar and pulling ass. I could totally see it. Totally.
I
He
don't like
probably, never mind, I'm not even going to say it.
he's such a little bit like what he did to Shapovalov yesterday at the Cincinnati Open. I don't know. He's like that gay guy who's like he's gonna like talk shit about you behind your back. But anyway,
But don't we all know girls that love that?
I don't want to sleep with that. But okay,
I
hey,
think it's the opposite. Maybe they want to sleep with it, maybe not just be with it. And like, hey, here's my partner at the Christmas pictures. But they'll be with
yeah,
Mandarino.
okay, okay. Well, actually, that takes me to speed round. So real quick, are you gay TP or WT gay?
WT gay.
WT gay, boots down. Okay. Who is your all-time tennis icon?
All time.
All time,
You know
baby.
what? I'm just gonna go with the first thing, no matter how cliche it is. Somebody was commenting on like a Venus Williams video recently, and they said something in the comments that like one of the still shots of her practicing looks like the throwback WTA logo from the early 2000s. And
Mm,
somebody was like, no, she literally was the logo from the early WTA 2000s. And I feel like that is pretty damn iconic. So I'm gonna say
that
Venus. I'm gonna say
okay.
Venus.
Okay. Well, then maybe that's going to answer this next one, but Venus or Serena?
Okay, honestly, Venus is my icon. But if you're asking me Venus or Serena, if you're asking in the context of like whose game I want to go play, if I could like put myself in their body or like morph myself Mystique form into you know who Mystique is?
Oh no, I know I do. You're going very. I was like, just who do you like more? And you're like, if I could morph myself into their body, okay,
I am going far into it.
okay. Diva,
I would go Serena, forehands and backhands. I
forehands
would
and
go
backhands.
Serena. Venus is the icon. Serena is like, I want the tennis.
The tennis. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Especially now. I mean, I don't know if we're going to talk about it too much, but like watching Venus lose over and over again, it's hurting my heart at this point.
It's not very fun. There is a crowd of people who want me to not speak on it. But the most I can say is that it is hard for my heart to see and know Venus as an icon, literally, and see what she does on the singles court in 2026. I just hope and pray that we get a moment where she kind of like finite does her career because she deserves it, just like everybody else who's had a super impactful career to have a finite. This is it. Wave goodbye. Thank you for your services. I've impacted so much. This is the next stage of my career. I want to see that for Venus Williams and her sister.
Completely agree. I mean, look, they are icons. They've done everything for the sport imaginable, but I don't think that this chapter is doing anything for Venus. Not for her
Yeah,
legacy, for, just
in singles for sure.
for in
If
singles.
she
Yeah, yeah,
wants,
yeah.
yeah, if she wants to go play doubles with Leylah Fernandez, sure, have at it. Like, and do it sparingly. But I do think the singles is tough to watch. And then you have Serena literally with GLP-1 ads flying across the Midwest over Cincinnati, and also maybe entertaining a wild card to the U.S. Open too. It's
Yeah.
just.
Yeah. Well, she said she would take it. She said she wants it. So yeah.
I know
I
she
mean,
would. I know they would offer it, but at what point does it become like,
yeah.
just for context, Venus made a US Open final in 97, Serena made a US Open final and won it in 99. We're close to 2027 and 2029. Like at
Yeah.
some point, if you got to lay it low.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It is a lot. Um, who is your ATP crush?
At the moment, I feel like it's Arthur Feast. I don't think
Okay.
I'm unique in that
No.
feeling, but when he comes across my screen, I am enthralled, whether he's in a fro or cornrows.
Oh, yeah, and he's the only one that I am okay with that transition, given
From fro to cornrows, yeah.
The Caboli and Alcaraz cornrow choices. Girls. Who
Yeah.
is your WTA crush?
I just saw, well, again, for context, like I'm 33, these are 20 something and beyond. So like it's not literal.
Oh, of
But
course, of course. Yeah.
some people take it these days. They will slice up and be like, oh my God. Anyway, I really think Victoria Mboko is really cute. I just saw a video of her in Toronto going like jewelry shopping, and it was just so cute. She talked about she liked dainty jewelry. She's just so girly, but also super
Mhm.
competitive once you get to see her up close. So
Mhm.
Victoria Mboko.
Okay. Yeah, and I think I saw your thread or your tweet about just missing her and Haley Baptiste. Yeah.
I really do. It's quite sad. Portia crying face.
If that's a Housewives reference, I'm not going to get it.
Oh, you did say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Sorry.
RHOA over here.
Like like Yelena Ostapenko's Portia. Is that what you're talking about?
Does she have a Porsche? Oh, she did
Oh,
win
she's
Stuttgart that
always
one
showing
time.
off her Porsche on Instagram. Like I went shopping, and it's like I love that insane woman and her entire
You
social
do?
media.
I can't say I've ever followed her or press follow.
Oh, she's just unhinged.
I
It's
believe it.
something. It's something. Like I enjoy that in a time where there's not a ton of personality on tour. I like a little weird.
Fair.
So
Fair enough. I
yeah.
get it. Yeah.
Okay, last question in this very long, slow speed round. Canada or Cincinnati?
Oh, Canada. Cincinnati's a mess. Respectfully. I'm sure Ohio is a great
Mm.
state and Cincinnati is a wonderful city to raise a family, but Canada.
Fair. I love that. And unfortunately, though, Canada keeps getting the shaft. So we're gonna talk
Yeah,
about
they
that.
really should tweak that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Don't you worry, sir. But that is New Balls, Please. You have survived it. So thank you for giving us a little more insight into yourself and Tune Into Tennis. And so, Miles, with Tune Into Tennis, how can people find you?
We are at every social network and platform you can think of. If you type tuned into tennis, you'll find me, my floating bald black head, and me running my mouth about tennis. You can find it.
Fantastic. That's Tuned Into Tennis, y'all. And we will all check it out. Now we are going to get into some of the latest action. And as always, we start with our Lobsbians. So our Lobsbians are the things that made us gayer for tennis since the last show. It can be anything from an amazing shot to an amazing shirt to anything in between. So I've got a few Lobsbians that really is just all covering Canada because that's kind of all that happened since DC. The first one is just the concept of having a final on a Thursday. I find that very queer coded, very Jurassic Park, Life Finds a Way, very Tim Gunn, Make It Work. Like, it was weird, and I enjoy weird, even though I think it really screws Canada for the scheduling because you end up with the semifinals on a Wednesday and the court. Like it's just the whole sequence of Canada feels jarring, and also I don't know about you, but did Canada feel kind of long? I was like, are we still here?
Hell yeah. Because it was basically a 14-day event for something that could have been like a 1 week email or something, you know?
It's
Like if I was a project manager, I'd be like, why are we still working on this? You
yeah,
know?
yeah, ship it. Yeah.
It doesn't quite make sense, especially in the context of that tournament, because if you really look into it, they're only playing one tour on each venue. Yeah, of course there's rain and stuff, and I'm not taking into account like rain that just naturally happens. We're not Mother Nature or Storm from X-Men. We can't
No.
control it, but it's not like they're in one stadium or one arena sharing courts with the men and the women. Why are we
Yeah.
prolonging this for just 96 players in Montreal and 96 or whatever in Toronto?
I just think it's at least a level of corporate greed where they're like, we have more days to fill the stands. But then, you look at the stands, especially on the women's side, and it was like half empty much of the tournament. It was like,
Respectfully,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like, It's not working, guys. So it's time to, you know, figure it out. But anyway, that's one Lobsbian. My second Lobsbian is Francis Tiafoe's kit. Um, I don't think he's ever looked better. His sponsor is Lululemon, and it was just like it was the right cut of a tank top, and I don't think he's ever looked hotter. Sadly, he had to retire in his second round match with a wrist injury. Again, everyone, these wrists.
He had
It's
to get
like,
a cyst removed in his wrist. Isn't that something?
is that what it was?
He posted that to Instagram story. Yeah, he had to have a small cyst removed in his wrist. But he's in the Cincinnati draw, so maybe it's not like, you know. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Good. I mean, I'm getting like PTSD between Del Potro and Alcaraz. I'm like, if a wrist goes amiss, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I think he looked great. So I'm back on the Tiafo train. Last year, I was like, girl, where did your game go? Oh, how is that?
Are you
That
really
face,
you really
that
back
face
on the
you're
train?
pulling, that face you're pulling, sir. What? Tell me your feelings about Tiafo.
I am on the train. I'm just not maybe like on the first track of units. Like I'm in the back. I'm in the back, not first class.
You're begrudgingly on the train.
Yeah, just
Okay.
because like for all intents and purposes, Francis Tiafoe has told us that he is a big match player, and I want to believe him. And he's a big match player, especially when you get to the US Open or roundabouts, right? But I'm watching some big matches, Tiafo, and some moments where it seems like you have momentum and you're not capitalizing on it. You know, French
Mhm.
Open loss, not great. Wimbledon loss, not great. Go to DC, which is in your backyard. Who do you lose
Oh
to in
yeah.
DC? Don't even remember. Like at that, it was like an opening round loss. You know, I know he won a 500 this year, but in context, that's great. But it literally is his first level title that big in his whole entire career. I'm not expecting much more. He just,
Agreed.
I think the window is a little not
Closing.
closed, but it's closing.
It's
Yeah.
closing. Yes.
Mhm.
Agree. But hey, at least he's hot.
He is. He
Yeah.
is. Chocolatey.
Which, you know, on the
Fine.
ball boys, we'll take that. You know, another Lobsbian is just kind of in the realm of kits. We're just seeing a lot of men wearing sports bras, like the sort of like monitor your heart rate or whatever. But it's just like
Mhm.
Caboli and Jack Draper, they're just and Holger Rune, they're just out there in sports bras, and I just find it very like gender fuck, you know, punk rock, RuPaul in the '80s. I'm here for it. I love it.
I dig it. If it's
Just
helping
enjoy.
them or getting them like the extra 1 or 2% extra value in their games or statistics of how they breathe and what their heart rate is doing, sure, why not? Put it
I
on.
mean, I'm not agree, but I'm also not a big believer in all this like biohacking bullshit. It's funny, like one time, like Mary Jo Fernandez was calling a match, and they were looking at people warming up in the back, and they're like doing all these like 45-minute like stretches and routine like sweats. She's like, we used to go out there, touch our toes, stretch our quad, and play. Like it's just like these
Dead
people.
ass.
Like,
Like y'all doing a lot. Just stretch.
it's a lot. It's a lot of look. Another lesbian. Did you see the after the final last night between Shelton and Nakashima that we're going to talk about in a second? Nakashima's shade to Toronto in that speech.
It was the most playful thing ever. Like I feel like he's not a guy I would throw in the ring for like tongue-in-cheek humor. And maybe he didn't even realize he was doing it, but it was quite cute for him to be like, yeah, I like Montreal for real, for real. Sorry, Toronto.
Yeah, I like it much more than Toronto. I'm so happy to be here. And like even Ben was cracking up, and it was just
Literally.
and Toronto's probably like, what the fuck did we do to you? Like, I
I
want
think they
to.
put yikes in an Instagram comment, like yikes.
Yeah, I want to see like his reception there next year. Like, I just want to see.
They're
Like,
not gonna boo him, I don't think.
no,
Or
no, not
anything
boo
like
him.
that.
Like I hope they have fun with it. I hope they like give him like
Yeah.
some like kwabakis, like poutine or something. I don't know, just something to keep it going. So,
I hope and think that they have fun with Nakashima for a while with just how like this opening and really sudden surge in his game. I think there's something there. He has a personality too and can appeal to a demographic for sure.
yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten a ton of personality from him, just from
It's not overflowing.
the matches I've watched. I'm glad he's having his moment. He's at a career high. I think he's at 22 in the world now, which is amazing. And We'll see. Again, no longer is the Summer Swing a predictor of future success because now, I mean, they played the Canadian final after the Cincinnati Open has started. Their first match is tomorrow, so they're flying today because they were probably doing press until 2 a.m. They're flying today. I mean, their chances of winning tomorrow suck. So
It's a train wreck. Good
train
luck to
wreck.
everybody involved.
Yeah, yeah. Best wishes. And of course, my last Lobsbian is just Zverev bottoming out early. Every single time that man loses, I just lick it up. I'm obsessed. I love every time he's out. Because he just
Zverev bottoms
loves
out. I like that.
he loves to talk a big game where he's like, yeah, me and Yannick and Carlos, we really separate. Bitch, no, no.
Zverev and bottom in the same sentence is funny to me.
Oh,
I'll leave it there.
I
Just
don't.
for today.
Yeah, just for today. So it's time for Twit, which is This Week in Tennis. And we, of course, like always, cannot cover every match and every score. If you're coming here for the scores, I am so sorry. But we are going to talk about the highlights and the lowlights and everything in between. So overall for Canada, Miles, how many balls are you going to give Canada?
Like out of 10 or 100 or
However many balls you got.
well, I
Sure.
scientifically have 2. I I'm gonna give it, like, if I'm rating it out of 10, I'll give it a solid 7.
Mhm.
7 balls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's if I hit 7 balls and they're aces, I've won a
Yeah.
game and some change. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you said you preferred over Cincinnati. Like, why did you give it 7 balls?
because the overwhelming feeling of this could have been an email and wrap this shit up was still hanging over everything. But the actual tennis and the outcomes of it weren't terrible, especially when I realized that on the men's side, I got a very healthy dose of like what the now and the most recent and current threats are to Alcaraz and Sinner, and in their age range, like the 2000s babies taking over Montreal, every single quarterfinalist being born in 2000, and Brandon Nakashima being the oldest at just turning 25.
The unk, yeah.
The unk, yeah. I think that's really dope, and it allowed their stories to kind of be taking up more room in the story of tennis, because Alcaraz and Sinner and Djokovic and Zverev to a certain degree dominate so much of the what if in a men's tournament. And for this tournament, it was like, okay, we got Ben Shelton, who ultimately won, but he's a really rising fast, taking it seriously, competitive and personality filled player. You got Rafa Hodar, who's come on like a surge and winning everything in sight, or every match he plays, he's legit in it. You got Arthur Fils, who's making it look good on and off the court, Jakub Minchik. These are going to be the guys that are challenging for slams in the next 5 or so years, because they're getting their games primed to do so. And I like that aspect of Montreal a lot. And on the women's side, it was kind of just more of the same high performance, elite level tennis, not with the personalities I like, but I am aware that they play really high level tennis, So
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think that for me, yeah, I would give it, 7 out of 10 balls. I was thinking I'd give it like 3 servings of maple syrup or something for Canada. So often for me at the beginning of a tournament, I'm like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, like, oh, it's going to be the best. And then something disappointing happens halfway through, or it's like, Zverev wins the French Open, and it kind of ends sadly. This one was sort of the opposite, where I did not have high hopes. There were so many pullouts of Canada. The weather was really bad. There were so many rain delays. And I was just like, oh, man. But then the actual action, like to your point, like the quarterfinals on both the men's and the women's side, I was like, oh.
Solid.
And it's very solid. And you're totally right. Like, as much as I love this Sin-Karaz rivalry, it takes up all the oxygen, and it becomes an era of inevitability. And when only one of them is in the tournament, it's like, well, you kind of know the outcome most of the time. We got all these fresh new stories. So like, that's great. It just doesn't feel like, I feel like it was not necessarily 1,000 level tournament for the men. Like, it felt more like a 750, even though those don't exist. But it's like, well, like, yes, I love that Ben defended his title. Did he beat anyone that great? Yeah.
I think in ways he did. I feel like if you're beating Fonseca, if you're beating Jakub Mincic, you're beating Lerner TN, those are all three players right there that are like top 25, you know? So it's not like the very, very top, but it's more than respectable, you know? And I
It's a 750.
it's gonna be yeah, sure. Let's give it an 800. Let's give it a bump, you know?
Okay, 800. Okay,
Give it a
fine,
bump.
fine. Sir, we're going to do the rest of Twit with our new series. It's called Upsets, Upsets, and Upset. Because that's what we got. And if you're confused, don't worry, we got you. So first, we're going to talk about upsets. So that's two words, as in being up a set, the winners, the great matches, the runs, the things we liked. Then we have upsets, which were the surprises, maybe the shocking losses, the things that we weren't expecting. And then finally, we're going to talk real quick about our upsets, which are the things that just made us plain sad and upsetting, and the things that were hard to watch, and the things that pissed us off. So upsets, upsets, and upset. So is that clear? Myles, does that make sense in any way at all?
Makes sense to me. I have a scenario for all three.
Amazing. Let's just start out first with upsets. So that's the wins and the runs that we loved. So the finals, we got to talk about who won, and the finals for both happened just last night. Let's start with the women. So we had Iga Swiatek taking on Elena Rybakina. And this is a match that could have been an email. Iga takes her out pretty handily in straight sets, like 6-3, 6-2. And I mean, look, it was a shitty match because Rybakina was up until like 3 a.m. the night before because her Coco match finished at 1 a.m. Then she had to do press and the cool down and yada. It was like she had nothing in her tank. Like it was just, I was not excited about that match one bit. What was your take on the match?
I'm normally not too excited when those two play, respectfully. Like, I'm aware that they take up a lot of space of dominance on the women's tour, but they are not who I am most excited to turn on my television or stream for, just from a exciting to watch standpoint. And then Rybakina was hard done by the scheduling of Toronto and the weather, because that semifinal got pushed back because of rain and, you know, just a whole myriad of things were kind of working for her at the tournament and against her, because Rybakina's serve was actually great in some very clutch moments to get her through to that final. But ultimately it kind of fell through because, you know, she was tired from doing all of that throughout the tournament, you know?
Yeah. Again, because there's absolutely no breathing room between tournaments, weather delays. So it's like, well, okay, we're going to have these ladies play at 1 a.m. It's like, in what world is it like the top, like 2 of the top 5 players in the world are playing at midnight on a Wednesday night to win one of the more prestigious titles in the category? We're being ridiculous and we're letting the tennis suffer in the name of greed. So
yeah, the tennis story or the tennis narratives are suffering, but Rybakina's matches against Osaka and Coco, and even Samsonova the round before that, she went 3 sets in all of those matches. And don't know how she quite did it, but she showed a level of scrappy that I'm not quite used to her seeing, while also not showing emotion at all at the same time.
Yeah, somehow.
Quite interesting. Somehow.
It's
and
like
I
a
think that's good,
fightless
I
fight.
guess.
Yeah.
It's a fightless fight, because that was actually maybe the reason I feel this way is because that was the first time she had ever played Naomi Osaka, like ever seeing that dynamic. That was the first time in the history of them playing. And Naomi went up a set and probably should have won that match in 2, but Rybakina came back and made it more interesting. And then Rybakina versus Coco was the first time we've seen that in 4 years. So like there were some interesting elements to Rybakina's run to the final, and then to just get thwarted by like a Iga resurgence, her first title of the year, first final of the year too. Like, I don't know. Again, I wasn't necessarily rooting for either of them to win for different reasons, but I guess it's good to see Iga figure out that she can play a medium brand style of tennis where she doesn't have to go for everything. It doesn't also have to be like hyper fixated on things that are going wrong. She can kind of malfunction a little bit, and we've been seeing her malfunction. I did think that she was going to malfunction her way out of that match against Marta Kostyuk, though. That was something I was really tuned into, and she was down a set for that match. But you know, ultimately, she's the Canadian Open champion. I guess it adds another layer of foil into this U.S. Open Series thing. I guess.
I know. I can hear your passion for your excitement for Iga. Yeah. I mean, she's getting close to completing tennis. I think she just has to win like Wuhan and the Australian Open and the Olympic gold. I mean, I don't know. Do you think she's going to do it before Sinner?
I think there's one other 1,000 she hasn't won. Am I making
Oh,
that
is
up?
there? I don't know.
Maybe she hasn't won Dubai or something. I don't know. But then again, like my indifference proves that I don't really care one way or the
You don't
other. Like,
care.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
she's gonna be a great champion. She is a great champion. Like, okay, prime example. I'll tell this story really quickly. She was doing a post-match encore chat after one of her wins, and
Mhm.
I think it was her win against Diana Schneider, which she just completely tore apart. I think the presenter interviewer was like, "Oh, we should name the Toronto stadium after you," and she was kind of like, "Ha, he, he. The Montreal stadium is actually named after me because it's the IGA stadium, IGA," and like it fell on deaf ears. Nobody really chuckled. Like
Oh.
she was like, "Oh, you guys don't get it." Awkward. Like it's just an
It's
awkward
cringe.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not. It's just not it. It's
Yeah.
just not it.
And you see, like again, I love a weirdo, so I'm okay with that part of her weirdness. Honestly, this year, most of the year, I've kind of forgotten that she's around. Like
I like it
she's
that way.
been such a non. Yeah, it's like I wasn't really missing her. I'm like, okay, you're back, I guess. I'm not going to say that I think she has a shot at the U.S. Open because I think that would be a boring outcome. I think there are many
She's a
more compelling
she's a
people.
defending champion in Cincinnati, actually. So that could have some
Yeah,
kind of implication on her ranking. But then she just won another 1,000 points. So I don't know. Who's to say?
yeah. Who can never be sure? And then on the final for the men, Shelton took out Nakashima, really like domed his way to the title.
He
I think he
did.
won straight sets. I think he held serve like 31 times in a row leading up to the title. He's done the Canadian double now, winning both in Montreal and Toronto, which is rare. What's your take on Ben Shelton for the Open?
I am cautiously optimistic. Um, just cautious because I know that there's a whole bunch riding on the fact that Ben Shelton could be a Grand Slam champion and is trending in that direction while
Mhm.
also combating the whole we haven't had a champion since 2003 thing, especially being in that pressure cooker in New York coming up. It could be a lot. But you know, if I'm looking at the tennis he played in Canada, it's great. It's going to compete well with a bunch of players on tour, especially over a best of five format, if he's playing well and healthy. It's
Mhm.
just some other factors like who else is going to be around him in the draw if he has to go against a seasoned Alcaraz or a fresh Sinner in the second week. What are the odds that he actually wins that? Even against somebody like Zverev or Fritz, who respectfully have gone deeper in slams than he has. How does he play out
Yeah.
against that? I think this 850 level, if you will, of tennis is
Oh, you're adding another
he's
50. Okay.
oh, did I add another 50?
It's gonna be
Sorry.
900 soon. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah.
He's great at this level. He's beaten the players around him and
Mhm.
below him that he should more routinely. It's just there is a step above in the ladder, and I just have to see if he can take that step.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think Alcaraz is actually going to make the US Open?
If I was like in his team and like doing scheduling, thinking about Alcaraz, the brand, the long-term product of it all, I probably wouldn't play. Probably not.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, what's the purpose to go out there and give a like a third round win to Shapovalov or something? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree. And this is also what annoyed me about the Serena return was that I was like, I can't take this seriously if your first singles match back is Wimbledon center court. Like when you make a comeback from anything, whether it's an injury or motherhood or whatever, the best comebacks are you play a challenger, you get matched tough. So like
Mhm.
Alcaraz coming back for the US Open, it's like it's not a smart strategy for a return. So
Just thrusting your wrist that has been out since, or is the reason you've been out since April, back into a best of five match doesn't seem very smart. Like that, I know you want to test it eventually, but you also have a whole nother leg of tennis to play after the US Open. And like, yeah, it may not be as glamorous and the camera might be not as bright as it is in New York, but like we're talking about your career here. Why even go chance it? We know you can win the US Open. You've won it twice. And you
yeah.
showed us that you can win all of the Grand Slams by winning Australia earlier this year. So just
Yeah.
keep
Like
resting.
let's go for some longevity because I think the worst thing that's going to happen is if it ends up like a Delpo situation or just somehow like it like really shortens his career. I am a selfish ball boy, but I like what about us, Carlos? Think
Yeah,
about
what
us.
about us?
We need you on that court. Clearly, because look at what happened since you've been gone. Don't fuck it up. Like,
He
come on.
literally is the lightning rod of men's tennis and has been for most of this decade.
Real quick on some of the other action towards the end of the tournament in the semifinals. On the
Mhm.
men's side, they were not the greatest matches. They were kind of lopsided, kind of lumpy. Like Shelton took out an injured TN, so it wasn't that great of a match. But I was surprised and impressed by Nakashima taking out Hodar
Yeah,
in two close sets. Hodar, though, he's getting the villain edit
on social
and
media and stuff. Yeah.
on social media, but he's also kind of giving himself the. I mean, he's got a beef with ball boys everywhere, apparently, which I take offense to. But he's just, yeah, I worry that he's getting a little bit of a Novak Zverev narrative around him to be like the foil to maybe a Fonseca who's going to get like the hero narrative.
hmm
But I don't know. But I like his game, and I hope he's just sort of young and dumb.
For right now, I'll take him getting the villain edit because I feel like it adds to the narrative. He hasn't done anything that's like super egregious, like, whoa, what are you doing? And I'm
Hmm.
also keeping in mind that he's a 19-year-old kid, fresh on the tour, making
Yeah.
mistakes like we all did as 19-year-olds, figuring shit out. So I'm, I'm
Hmm.
I'm keeping it in context, but fast forward 10 years, I might actually fully think he's a jerk. That's kind of
Yeah.
similar to what I did with Djokovic. When Djokovic first came on, I was like, sure, why not? He's the guy imitating Sharapova and doing all the things. Eventually, it got old, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't really care for this guy, amongst other things. But as of right now,
Yeah.
Hodar's game is explosive. I really like the dynamic of how he folds into the Shelton, Fonseca, TN, Arthur Feast. Like, perfect. Put him in there, and he plays great
I'm
tennis.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Oh, and
Mhm.
then quickly, Lerner TN is like, how do I put this nicely? Lerner TN is sneaky hot. He really is. I
Sneaky
have a
hot.
sneaky hot. Yeah, I have an affinity for men's tennis players who lift up their shirt to wipe the sweat off of their heads or whatever throughout a
Mhm.
match. I really do. Andy Roddick used to do it a lot back in the day, and a whole bunch of people did.
Oh yeah.
If you know, you know. But Lerner
Oh yeah.
TN is actually very consistent about doing that. And when he lifts up his shirt, this is so gay of me, but there is a really
Mm.
nice ass to waist ratio that Lerner TN has that I'm not
Oh,
even sure he's aware of.
really?
Yeah, it's not like bow pow, watch out now, like Francis Tiafo, but it is. It's
Francis is a little too
sneaky.
much at times. I mean, that's a
Francis has
lot of
ass.
look. That's a lot of
Francis has
look.
glutes. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but Leonard Tien does too. You gotta pay attention to it. And if you are a connoisseur of watching the in between points,
Yeah.
Leonard Tien is a fun one. And in the point itself, Leonard Tien is quite
Hmm.
entertaining and has really good court guile. But Leonard Tien is sneaky hot.
Sneaky
Yes.
hot. Okay. I will be watching that because I mean the t-shirt lift, like Fees does it, Tommy Paul does it a
Yeah.
lot.
He
Yeah.
loves that Tommy Paul happy trail. He loves it.
My husband, Tommy Paul. Yes, 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 yes. He knows. He knows. Um some other upsets, things that just were like runs and things that I loved. I'm loving the Naomi Osaka sans. Like, I feel like Naomi Osaka is back. Like, it took her a moment. Don't you be rolling those eyes at me, sir.
Sorry.
She, like, look, last year it was real clunky and messy, but then by the U.S. Open, it was like, okay, she's like back. This tournament, I mean, she should have won that match against Rybakina. She really should
Yeah.
have. But that was my match of the tournament. I loved like that big babe tennis, and I felt like I was like, this is Naomi from 2021. But now you
It's
rolled your eyes.
it's
Tell me why I'm
glimpsed.
wrong.
Yeah, because there's glimpses there. I just feel it's so interesting to be in a sport like tennis where there's only one winner. And like I'm at a point now where I want to see Naomi being the last person standing, being the winner. And like
Mhm.
she's making amazing strides, like a quarterfinal at Wimbledon, a quarterfinal here. We're taking that, right? Like we're getting wins every week, but the way in which she's losing some matches is giving me pause for concern and just making me feel
Mm.
like, there's a rung on the ladder that you are struggling to reach, and I don't know if you're going to reach it. I want you to reach it. I just don't know if it's going to happen. Because
Yeah.
Naomi is a Grand Slam. Like she's only won 1,000s and slams in her career. Nothing else.
Yeah. Which is
So
kind of a big slay. Like I'm like I love that statement versus like a Casper Ruud who only wins 250s. It's like no, she's like yeah, this is what I did. So last night, and Tom Vellner, I hope you're listening, the author of 30 Love, at the panel, he's like, I'm saying it. Naomi Osaka's winning the US Open. I like big statements like that. I don't know if I agree, but Tom, I'm just putting you on on blast. But some people out there are picking her to win. I don't know. I would love that so much.
Yeah, so would I. I, as well as Tom, would love to see it. I just kind of have to see it. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
we gotta get to the moment and meet the moment and win the match. You know,
Yeah.
would love to see that.
Yeah. And she did just pull out of Cincinnati with fatigue. So
She
again,
knows how to play a tennis schedule. She knows it. She
yeah.
picks and chooses all the time. So yeah.
Yeah. But again, it's like it's no longer the US Open summer swing. It is 3 ragtag tournaments stitched together, and maybe you'll play 2 of them. Maybe. Okay, on to upsets. So these are the things that were the biggest surprises that took place on the court, and maybe off the court too. So Ben Shelton won, as we just covered, which is great. He was the only ATP top 10 player who won more than one match at the Canadian Open. Only one other top 10 player, Alex de Minaur, he won one match. I'm over the men right now. Like guys, not only is your play like not that amazing, but you're also not taking advantage of this opportunity. Like, look, when Dad, Sinner and Djokovic and Alcaraz, when they're all back, you're all in trouble. So this is your time to grab these points. So like Medvedev, Kaboli, de Minaur, like get your shit together, because it's just like they all lost so fast, easy. They didn't even seem to care.
They don't seem to care that deeply, nor do I, in that crop of players you just mentioned, because like Alex de Minaur, Daniil Medvedev, even Taylor Fritz to an extension, like great character players. Like if they do great, awesome. If they don't do great, okay, I can stomach
You're
it.
okay.
Kaboli, I do want more in the mixes. I just like his brand and style of tennis and just aura. But the rest, like those guys, we know you're good. Go do your big one, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And I don't care so much for them. I'm selfish, like I've said. I care for me. I'm like, guys, and then I get a little embarrassed. I'm like, I'm embarrassed to be a man sometimes. Like, we can't even win a fucking match. Like, come on. Like, it's like, because I can't help but compare to the women who, like, only Noskova lost early because, of course, she just won Wimbledon. Your next match after winning a Grand Slam, girl, you're not going to win. No one wins their...
Especially your first one. Well, some people have. Yeah. Some people use it as a launching pad, but in today's WTA age, it doesn't really happen.
You know, but I'm just like, guys, get your shit together. Just like it's a little embarrassing to be in the top 10 of men right now. So
is it more embarrassing to be them or more embarrassing to be Jack Draper?
my Shayla. Tell me more, because I feel so bad for him.
I do too.
So, but no, give me that shade. Give me that. Say it. Say it, diva.
I was wondering who my face was reading. I feel bad, and I also feel like what exactly is going to change about his scenario from week to week if he's already taking large chunks of time off and it's still not working in regards to like this bone bruising and something he has in his arm. Like it just feels very, every time I try to take a step, I get knocked back a peg. And I feel for that. Your body is kind of showing you and showing the rest of us that it's like a no right now, you know?
Yeah. So. As the great bard Chumbawamba said, you know, he gets knocked down, he gets back up again. Isn't that a song? I get knocked down.
It's resilient. Yeah, it's resilient, and the tattoo is nice, I guess. But
I hate the tattoo. Here's why I feel bad. These other top teners, they don't seem to really even be bothered when they lose. It's like, okay, I lost, whatever. I'm tired. He was crying at the end of his loss because he wants to be out there. He wants to be back, but his body's not cooperating. I love that drive. And like, that's part of what I love about tennis too. It's like when people really care. So I'm like, my Shayla.
I love that he cares. It's just, he's in a tough spot right now. You know, you can care as much as your body allows. And it looks like it's telling him something at the moment. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Well, and another person who is maybe struggling a little bit is Sabalenka. Another upset. She continues her crapping out ways, losing in the round of 16 to a really impressive Alexandrova. Drova played great. But Sabalenka was also just sloppy. I mean, there's nothing worse than losing a match on a double fault, which is what she did. Girl.
Ooh. Remember
Yeah.
those days back in like 2022 where she used to hit like buckets and
The
buckets of double faults and it was nasty?
the yips.
Hope we're not going back there, but I'm not quite ready to press the panic alarm button on Sabalenka yet, because if you zoom out, she has won 3 titles and got to a Grand Slam final this year, all on hard courts. So it's like, yeah, her season's not been bad at all.
Yeah.
2 1000s, a Grand Slam final, another tournament, like that's pretty solid. But yeah, her little period now of clay to grass and then the lead ups has been looking a little wonky. I feel like Sabalenka was always going to be a bit of a player who like has an era and then gets all she can from that era and then like goes back to like the mean. And to be honest, she got to world number one for the first time in 2023. She won her first slam. The average reign of like a world number one and really at your prime tennis player is about 3 to 4 years. And we're coming up on year
Oh, yeah.
4. It's normal. You can't win them all. So I'm not like, this is her dramatic downfall. It may be, but also losing in the round of 16 to a fellow like top 30 player. She's taking losses, but they're against players they're not like never heard of her before, So
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true. It's a little jarring because since the Sunshine Double win, she hasn't made a final. So it's just like, oh, but again, going back to like the hunger, she is never like, oh, I lost. I don't care. She hates losing. And I love a player who hates losing.
she hates
I don't know.
losing and loves lip injections. So
And oh my God, every time she comes back from a loss, it's like it's throwing off her center of gravity, maybe. Maybe that's why her serves are in the net. I don't know. But yeah. And the final of upset, upsets, and upset is what made us upset, what pissed us off, what made us sad, the heartbreaking moments. We just talked about Draper a little bit, but he looked so defeated during his changeover loss. Like he lost to Terrence Atmain, and the cameraman was just zooming in so tight on his face, and he was like crying. And then we also had we had a lot of tears. Shapovalov had to retire. He was crying. Diallo was crying when he had to retire. Myles, important question for you. Who is the prettiest crier? Draper, Shapovalov, or Diallo?
from what I saw in Canada, it was definitely Diallo, because I kind of forgotten already that he had to retire very suddenly, and he kind of just looked at it down at his leg and was like, "Oh, I can't do this. Like I know
Yeah.
I can't." And
Yeah.
that was tough. And he's already been having a tough season after having a really good period of last year, winning his first ATP title. He just seems like a good egg, like the kind of overall good Canadian guy that everybody's like, they're so nice and easy to kind of deal with. Him and Felix have that in common, just good energy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Prettiest crier by far.
Yeah.
So also my iconic diva, Yelena Ostapenko, she got bageled in the first round. She retired at it was 6-love, 4-love. And
Really?
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
She was sick, maybe. She said she was sick. But the thing that was upsetting about that loss was the fan reaction. And she clapped back on Instagram by just showing all of the messages she was getting. You should kill yourself, you fat piece of shit. You like the things that, and I only see this happening to women. Maybe the men just don't talk about it, but like I think it's more for women. The attacks they get after a loss, upsetting to me. I don't know. I was just like gross. And actually, I wrote her and I was like, "You're a diva. We're obsessed with you. Don't worry about it." And she liked the message, so she saw me. Elena, I love you. Come on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. No thought.
Co-sign all of that.
Oh, I thought you were like, no, I agree. She should die. Okay.
No.
Fuck that bitch. Okay. Yeah. The other things that upset me, there's this, so I don't know if there's like a solve for this really, but like, so Belinda Bencic, she pulls out of her quarterfinal against Coco. I was really looking forward to that match. They've had some spicy encounters. I kind of wish there was a way that like when someone pulls out or retires, I wish there was a way to like slot something back in. Cause like that was a day, I think it was maybe a Tuesday where it was like, oh, so now there's only one other match for this entire tournament. I don't know.
Going back to the scheduling issue. Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this? Like They could do it in a week. That's the
1
solution.
week.
1 week. Ladies and gentlemen, start your
And
engines.
gentlemen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Belinda Bencic isn't high up on my list of people to talk about either. So, see, I told you
I
that whole
know.
WTA quarterfinals was like great players, personality besides like Coco, Osaka, and Schneider, and a little bit of
Mhm.
Alexandra and maybe Sabalenka. Everybody else was just like, yeah.
Well, you just listed a fair number. I mean, look, I love that the mothers were mothering, Naomi, Svitolina, and Bencic all make the quarters. Like, come
They
on,
all are mothers. Yeah, mom on a mission.
mother. She is giving mother. So those were the things that upset us. So that was upsets. Folks, we also do have a brand spanking new BayTP. It's a little bit of a weak time for the BayTP. We're calling it Canadian BayCon. We've got some mainstays. Of course, our Arthur Fees is high up on the list. We've got some new people like Marita, who's been making some runs. We've got JJ Wolf, who got the US Open wild card. And we've got some maybe doubles players that you haven't heard of yet. So go on over to our Instagram and check out the BayTP. That is at TBB Tennis, at TBB Tennis. And we're going to close the show now. Myles, real quick, what time is it?
It is 12:30 Central, so almost a little after 1:30 on the East Coast in New York.
No, it's time for cross court. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, cross court is back. I've just put on my Ruth Bader Ginsburg bib. I've got my little gavel because the court is back in session. Cross court is where we are the line judge and jury of crimes against tennis. And today, folks, we have this is very serious, Myles. I don't know why you're laughing. Today,
Okay, I'll be a bailiff.
no. You are my fellow judge. So
Okay.
we have the case of Canada versus the state of Canada. So, good people of the line judge and jury, the Canadian Open is in shambles. Not only do the men not show up, the ones that do show up barely show up on the court. All I can say is, come on, Montreal. On the women's side, they played a half-empty stands during odd hours of the night at midnight when they should be home. It moves at such a glacial pace. I'm like, I feel like it ought to be done by now. Like Ottawa, get it? So, folks, this is untenable. This is not tenable at all. So the question is, what the heck do we do with Canada? Because just doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something different is the definition of crazy. This is what my therapist tells me when I go to the Eagle every Friday night. So, Myles, first of all, in the case of Canada, meaning we can make it work, or Canada, as in get the heck out of here, how do you find the defendant?
I think we can make it work. I think it's Canada. I want to keep the Canadian Open on the schedule. They just need to officially tweak some things, bring it back to a week. There's no reason why there's only the WTA Tour playing in one city and the ATP Tour playing in one city, and those things taking 2 weeks. We just saw how like messy that can get with withdrawals and weather. It just is super messy. And I think now the powers that be at those tournaments are realizing it, because I've seen some PR from the tournament director, especially I think at the Montreal Open, we're like, this is not sustainable. You're harming our product now. You gave us all this extra time to play with, but now no one's coming. And is it really impacting our bottom line if we're not selling tickets because the big names aren't showing? So what are we doing here? So yeah, they just need to retwork that and maybe steal some of Cincinnati shine, because out of those 3 cities, which one do you rather go to? Montreal, Toronto, or Mason, Ohio?
I love a funnel cake. So, no, I hear you. I'm not dying to go to Cincinnati. No offense to my Cincinnatians out there. No, I agree. We've got to make it work. Again, it's a Tim Gunn, a make it work moment. I had a few other options. So we've talked about this already on the show. I was like, I don't know, maybe we have to make it a 750. The numbers are made up anyway. Like, it's not like, are. I mean, we can do whatever, but it's like right now, I don't feel like, at least on the men's side, it's the caliber of pretty much every other 1,000 level tournament. So maybe it becomes a new class. I had another idea though. So this was inspired by the World Cup. And I was like, what if we had, wait for it, the Cincinnati Open, where it is a 2-week tournament across Canada and Cincinnati. Because just like, okay, the World Cup, we had matches in Canada, we had matches in Mexico, we had matches in the US, it all went around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if it was, okay, the first week for the women is in Cincinnati, and then the second week is in a Canadian city? Flip it for the men, where it's like, so like, both countries get it, both cities get it.
I mean, they're kind of doing that right now because Cincinnati and Canada share a week. Like they go straight into each other in the middle of the week. So
yeah,
just iron it out. Like just sit together at a table and make the dollars make sense because it's not making sense right now.
Yes, I agree. And I do think, I mean, look, okay, fine. We're not going to do a 750. We're not going to do Cincinnati, even though I love Portmanteau.
It is campy, Cincinnati.
Right. Come on, Diva. But yes, folks, the verdict is in. Across the case of Canada versus Canada, we are in favor of Canada, but you get 1 week, Canada. Same with you, Ohio. So
make it work.
Make it work. Okay, amazing. I feel very good about this court session. Finally, last question, Myles. Do you have any hot takes on Cincinnati?
I think there's room for everybody. Cincinnati. I really do. I think it'll be interesting to see who hits a wall. All the players that went deep in Canada, like we're talking about those 8 quarterfinalists and on each side, the ones that decide to go to Cincinnati, do they have 5-6 more matches in them before they go to New York? And if they don't have it in them, what are the next rung of players that are going to be right there waiting to lift the trophy? Because eventually somebody has to lift the trophy. It may be a name that we all are like accustomed to winning big, and it may not be,
Yeah. No, I think like that's a very wise and maybe safe prediction that someone will lift the trophy. Yes, somebody's going to win this. Yes. My hot take is that I think that Novak Djokovic is loading for one more run. I know.
Please no.
I get it. I hear you. But like, I think that he is like, he knows his window is basically closed. He's playing Cincinnati. He might not win it because he's going to use it as practice, but he's going to slingshot into the US Open conversation, especially if Sinner and Alcaraz aren't there. I'd rather he wins over Zverev. Boots.
You're asking me to choose 2 relative evils. I just don't know. There's got to be somebody else. There's got to be somebody else, Paul. What if Kabola gets it right? What if Jakob Mensah gets it together and goes further in the quarterfinals? What if Arthur Feast gets it together? That'd be wonderful. There are names that I kind of want to see in the mix that aren't the Zverev, Djokovic. What if Fonseca wins big and wins big? Like these are all opportunities. What if Felix finally wins a Masters? Can you believe he doesn't have a Masters at all? I
can. Honestly, like Felix pisses me off. He should be winning so much more.
Such a nice guy, such a great talent, but we need just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then on the women's side, like if it's not Iga, Sabalenka, or Rybakina, then Coco finally wins the tournament. She hasn't won a tournament all year. Does Anisimova get it together? Does Ialo win again? Does Mira Andreeva get it together since her Roland Garros kind of triumph, but then where has she been lately?
She hasn't. I don't think she's won. Like she's won maybe like 1 or 2 matches since Roland Garros. Yeah,
I don't think she's won many back-to-back matches since winning Roland Garros. So maybe she finds a run of form.
I think in a lot of tournaments, the top 20 women, it's kind of a pick'em, which is great. It's not because they're all weak. It's because actually, like it's like there's like
they can all play.
They can all play. The top 20 men, meh. But yeah, totally agree. Okay, well, Myles, that's our show. You are officially a ball boy. Did you have fun?
I need a hat now. I did. Yeah, I love our banter. It's really great.
I did too. Whether you like it or not, I will be asking you back. So look forward to having you back real soon and often. And folks, the Ball Boys will be back in, again, just a few weeks because the tennis never ends. And we're going to have our US Open preview show. I have yet another new Ball Boy. And I might be doing the next show in the Buff on Fire Island. I don't know. I'm going to figure out if I can find a place that doesn't get sand everywhere. But anyway, until then, our balls are going back in the can. And we'll see you real soon. Thanks, y'all. Bye.